Mostly I have been doing test case development, building test automation assets, but also various other stuff in different quality assurance positions. When I started, I did some test cases for camera driver software, so very low level. And currently, I'm mainly focused on web user interfaces. So I've had the pleasure to kind of know the whole software stack. So from the really low level to the UI. Okay, let's go to the topic of today. So about mobile test automation. When we talk about mobile test automation, it means the automating tests for mobile devices or apps running in mobile devices. So for example, in phones and tablets. Then about the need for mobile test automation. So this is now based on our experiences with different projects, with clients. And it's good to know that our clients usually don't have so much experience in mobile test automation, but are starting with web automation usually. And now where the need for mobile test automation comes from. The first thing is probably that they have some web services that they have automated already, and then they want to do the same for their mobile application. So for example, they have a service which is running in web, and they have a similar application for mobile, and they want to extend that to the mobile side also. Then end-to-end testing. So they might have processes which include multiple systems. So for example, web-based systems, and then those processes also include some mobile systems as well. So for example, they might have some system for storage management, and then they have a mobile app to do something for that system. And they want to test the whole thing from end to end, the whole process. You might think that this is more like RPA, so robotic process automation. So there is a fine line between test automation and RPA. So this is also partly about that. So long processes that need to be tested and might contain mobile apps. This is something that we have noticed. So the need for mobile testing is increasing all the time in general. Something that just we see. And about these, so when the need for mobile automation comes, so it would be beneficial to use the same tools that have been used for web testing also, so that the kind of the it doesn't require so much expertise to move from web to mobile. About the need still, so there are certain challenges, and this is also something that we try to solve. So when thinking about the mobile test automation, so usually it is done by companies that have the capabilities in-house. So they are developing mobile apps themselves, or they are mobile device manufacturers, or something that they have the in-house development. They can build, for example, specific UI libraries that you can use in test automation, or ability to create custom libraries. But this is rarely the case in our kind of customer cases. Also setting up the environment, so that requires expertise also. So you need to install Android Studio, Appium, device drivers, and so on. And this kind of creates a new challenge to many new users. as said, so these capabilities for mobile test automation require expertise, and also how to test apps that are not your own. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, so you might want to test some long processes that contain mobile apps, and might be that those apps are not your own, so you don't have access to those packages and to the sources, so you might use some other app as part of your process, and how to test that. Okay, so to overcome these challenges, we kind of use this method of the robotic testing approach. So mainly, mainly how to effectively enable people who don't have so much experience in mobile test automation to do that. So this is kind of the method for that. So how to enable people for doing mobile test automation. And the idea contains basically it contains two ideas. So uniform automation libraries and also cloud-based platform. And let's look at the uniform automation libraries first. So I guess many of you are familiar with robot framework. So keyword-driven tests based on robot framework, and that kind of enables us to do easy to read and easy to write scripts that do keyword-driven automation. And as robot framework is really popular and known in test automation world, so it's good to be based on that. Then uniform libraries between different platforms, so between web and mobile. So as I said, that when you have experience of doing web automation and you want to move to mobile automation, it's good that you can use similar libraries. So meaning that you don't need to learn new keywords or new methods to do that. And then also extendability. So it's easy to extend new functionality using custom keywords or doing new libraries. So let's look at some examples. Okay, so here is a page source code from Slack, and this is from the Slack web client. I know it's really small font, but this is just an example. So when we are doing web automation, you know that we try to locate the element from this web source code. And here is an example from the Slack web client from channel view, where you can write messages to that channel. Okay, here is the test source or the test script for doing that. So here is an example written in robot framework syntax using our automation libraries to do the logging in and joining to a channel and then writing a message to that channel. So first we verify some text on the page. We can click some items on the page and so on. So like what the actual user would do on the page. So clicking and checking, and as you can see, we are also using some machine vision capabilities on line 20 and 21 to kind of close those operating system notifications. But yeah, this is from the web client example. Now let's go to the mobile side. Now this is the source code from the Slack mobile application and from the same page. So from the channel page where you can write text or messages to the channel. And as you can see, it's a bit different. So this is in XML, and you need to kind of know what you are looking for from the page source to be able to locate those elements. Now, let's look at the script that is doing the same as the previous for the web automation. Now, this is for mobile. So here we can see that it's quite similar. So it's using the same keywords. The logging in is done first, then checking some notifications, and joining to a channel and writing messages. And here they are side by side. So on the left is the web application, and on the right the mobile. And here is the logging in procedure. Here is joining the channel. And here writing a message to the channel. So as you can see that there are some differences between web and mobile, but not so much. So if you have learned to do automation for your web client, it's not so difficult to kind of do the same scripts for the mobile also. So this is kind of our approach. This kind of library challenge that to be able to use same libraries. Okay. The second idea for the robotic testing approach was the use of cloud-based platform, and the idea is that in the same platform you have all the things that you need accessible from the cloud, and for example, you can develop your test cases, you can run those, you can report. They are all in the same place. Environment setup, as I said, setting up the environment can be quite tedious task, and all that should be done in the cloud by the cloud service or the service provider, and all automated, and also maintained. So you don't need to worry about updating your tools or browser drivers or stuff like that. And also the kind of the good thing about this cloud-based platform idea is the integration of other services. So, for example, if you would like to use browser stack for the device for your mobile test, so that can be integrated in the same platform, and it's easier used in that way. One thing is also the code editor. So when you need to develop your test, that can be also done in the cloud in the same platform, and having the AI features that we are seeing today in different code editors like prediction and self-healing. It's good to know that this is currently doable in web automation, but there is still some way to go for mobile. This is something that should be there to make the life of our client easier. Okay, here is an example of a cloud-based platform that kind of includes all those things that I mentioned previously. So there are components for the environment handling, so creating the test automation environments, checking test runs, checking test run results, and recording videos, and controlling the runs, scheduler, variables, and so on. And then also choosing the mobile device for your tests. So all in the same place. So now we can look at the components in more detailed view. So basically, there you can control your environment setup by creating new environments, like here robots, and those are then created automatically in the cloud and maintained by the cloud provider. And it's also a good solution for scalability, so you can create those environments as much as you like there. Then about the test run and the history data. So you have the kind of capability to check your test run history and visualize the data. So you can check the trends and results from easy visualizations. Also about the run results. So run results are in the same place, and you can check the video recordings also. So this is something that we have seen that it's really useful for especially the mobile cases. So you have the video recording available in the same platform, and you can check from the video recording that if something has failed in your test, and then also you can see that what was the situation that led to the failure. So not only the failure, but what was the kind of the preconditions that led to this failure, and also the more detailed test case results for debugging and root cause analysis. About controls, so test runs can be started also from the same platform. You can schedule those test runs to be run like nightly or at any time you like. Getting notifications, so for example, email notifications or Slack notifications when you have failed tests or whatever the condition you want to be notified. There can be test data. So test data definitions are at the same place also. And then you can use the in-cloud provided code editor that is also integrated in the system. About device configuration. So as I mentioned, the integration with browser stack can be possible also. And here we can see that we can choose the devices that the browser stack provides us from the platform. So this is an example how to integrate services. So for example, from this cloud-based platform to another cloud-based service like browsers to choose the correct device where you want your tests. Okay, then about some trends that we see that will be beneficial in the future. So what's next? So record and play. This is quite a big thing. This is something that is already on the web test automation side, but for mobile, it's really challenging, but it would be really useful. So this can be a breaker for some technical users. So we have a lot of testers that are starting to develop test automation, and this would make their life a lot easier. They could just record and play all those cases for their mobile test automation needs. And also it would require or bring more robustness by changes and more intelligence to be working kind of reliably. We can say from the experiences from the web automation side that this is kind of way to create your tester template, and you still would need to fine-tune your testing scripts. But on the mobile side, so really good. Now this is then something that is not dependent on us or usually the clients that do mobile testing, but with mobile applications, it would be really good if the developers of those applications would provide more recognizable IDs for objects and more kind of information for the objects for automation to recognize better. and also use the accessibility framework. So that would help our work also, and make test automation building easy. Okay, I think I was quite fast, but it means that you have a longer break.